Hello and welcome back. You are about to watch a video of a pastor over in Ghana, Africa, justify his religion. He's about to justify the origins of his religion in his country. Christianity has had a very problematic past in Africa. And in this present day, some pastors, because of probably their greed, probably the shame, and just their egos, will not let them be truthful and say it as it is. They would justify slavery in the name of their religion. But before I show you the video, please do me a favor and make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Turn on your notification bell so that when I upload, you will be the first one to know about it. So let's go and listen to this pastor actually tell us about the origins of Christianity in his country.
Somebody says that it is white people who brought Christianity to deceive Africans. All the 40 writers of the Bible, none of them is an European. If you say that the white man has brought Christianity to deceive Africans, is it only Africans who practice Christianity? How many of you will prepare a poison to kill somebody and be eating some? There are over 50,000.
So over 40 writers of the Bible, and none of them is African. None of them are Europeans. Does that not show you that this is not for Africans? This book, the God in there, the people in there, none of it is for Africans. Even Jesus said he only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That was it. He said, I only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And the last time I checked, Africans, we are not lost, we are not sheep, and we are not the house of Israel. Never mind those people that go around trying to say that Africans are Israelis. That's a conversation for another day.
Churches in Europe alone. That is to say, if they brought it to deceive Africans, why are they themselves Christians? Europe itself had to be.
That's if they didn't plan to bring it to Africa. So why are they themselves Christians? Of course, they themselves are Christians. Because how else would they have perpetrated the act of slavery, the act of colonialism that they did? There are scriptures in that book that tell the slave how to obey their slave masters. That book is toxic to the mind of Africans because it teaches people how to be subservient, even to people that are cruel and harsh to you. This is what this man is trying to teach his people. He also made an analogy earlier on about if you have a poison, are you going to give the poison to... So basically what he's doing, he's recognizing that the Bible is poisonous. By using that analogy, you're basically saying there's some level of poison in your book. Interesting.
Evangelized. The gospel was sent to Europe by Paul. When you read the book of Acts chapter 2, the Bible says that when the church...
The gospel was sent to Europe by Paul. That in itself is a problem. Paul was on his way to go and murder Christians. Paul was on his way to go and throw Christians in jail. Paul already had ulterior motives. But somehow he had this encounter on his way to Damascus. And somehow the one who was sent to kill Christians now becomes the mouthpiece of Christianity. Isn't that interesting? How did Paul go from being the one who wants to kill Christians to being the mouthpiece, that most of the books of the Christian Bible is written after Paul. Could it be that Paul had some ulterior motives? Could it be that Paul was trying to do something? I see what Paul was trying to do, but these Christians, they don't see it. 1 minute he's trying to kill you, next minute he becomes your mouthpiece and just changes everything around. He never met Jesus one day, but somehow he's now the one speaking for you.
The people who were gathered there, there were people from Egypt and people from Libya. What about Ghana? Well, the white man brought Christianity to Ghana. The evangelical.
He has just admitted that Christianity did not belong in Ghana. Christianity was not in Ghana. The people who were at the Pentecost were from different places, but Ghana wasn't one of them. He said that it was the white man indeed that brought Christianity over to Ghana. He admitted. Well, let's hear what he has to say.
The work of soul winning had nothing to do with the political work of colonization. Colonization was a political agenda. The bond of 1844 was the formal agreement to give Ghana to Europeans. That agreement was not signed by Christians. It was signed by the fantasies and European politicians. What was Christianity going to do with?
So that agreement to give over Ghana in 1844 over to the Europeans, this man says it was political. It had nothing to do with the Christians, only the colonizers. But guess what? They went hand in hand. The colonizers were Christians. The colonizers were Christians. And I will prove it in a second if you hang on with me.
Colonization. Rather, the Christians came to the Gold Coast to die. They came sleeping in coffins to preach the gospel. The first man to be sent to Europe on education was sent as a missionary. Many of you do not know.
Apparently, these missionaries came to the Gold Coast to die. To die for what exactly? Who sent them? Who sent them to come over to Africa to die? They thought they were hearing from a non-existent God, and they were prepared to come and die for their non-existent God. It's nothing to do with us. We didn't ask them to come over. They came over to come and die. Ridiculous.
Kwame Nkrumah was sent to abroad to go to Bible school by Christians in Achimota school and became Pan-Africanist after studying Marcus Garvey. The Christians rather established schools. The first school in Ghana was established by the Christians. Infancy Secondary School is the first secondary school in Ghana. It was established by missionaries before.
So they brought schools. So we should clap because they brought schools. Don't you see? That's where the indoctrination started. Mr. Pastor Man, tell me, which day did we as a people, as a human race, decide that we all were going to sign up to speak in English? Show me when we all agreed that we were going to have the English curriculum in our schools. Don't you see that these people came with a plan and it worked? They came with a plan. Okay, in some cases they brought religion and the people were not quite accepting of the religion. They were not quite receptive to it. So what they did, they'll go back, go and learn the people's language, and then offer them schools, offer them hospitals, offer them things, show them that, oh, we like you, we love you, we're here for you. And all of this, they're learning the language, and then, slowly, just making their way into that community. And before you know it, they start changing over one person's mind, coercing the other, just changing minds one after the other. Don't you see it?
1949, every school that was established in Ghana was established by Christians who came to preach the gospel to die so that you and I will have Western education. Why are we not accusing them that the white man has come to deceive Africans with education? Listen to me. I'm not against the African race, but the truth is that light comes from different places. We were privileged to receive the gospel from the Europeans.
There you have it. Here we are in 2023. We're justifying why it is okay for the Christians to come over to our lands. Tell us that our juju and all the things that people worshipped were wrong. But take on Jesus, the fake Jesus, the clown Jesus. Any religion that tells you you must convert to have eternal life, any religion that tells you you've got to change who you are to become one of them, otherwise you will they threaten you with the hell or whatever, that religion is fake, it's evil, and it belongs in the gutter. Any religion that tells you that you must give up everything that you once knew to take on this new Messiah, not only is the God of the religion insecure, he is useless. Any God who wants the whole world to know about him would not need messengers, would not need missionaries, would not need people to take this religion and go and colonize other people just to get his message out. What he would do, he would raise people from each family, he would raise someone from each community, each township, each state, each country. That way, nobody needs to go with their sense of entitlement to another person's land to go and preach to them, proselytize, and win them over to this belief. And guys, you know that Christianity is a belief system, and belief is a doubt. When you take on a belief, there is some level of doubt, because a belief is not 100%. So these people who came with Christianity didn't even have a clue whether their religion was real or not. They've never proven the God of their religion to exist, but they came on their high pedestal to change the minds of people. And this pastor, shame on you. Shame on you. You want to enrich your pockets continuously. Here you are justifying the actions of these people. Guys, have a look at the following video and look at how these people who this man is, the act that he is justifying in Ghana, these people who were the slave masters, they were also Christians. The very same Christians that he's going to bat for.
To the British. Some slaves were brought all the way from the Upper Volta region, through the Picoro slave camp, through to the Salaga slave market, and all the way to the coastal regions to be sold to the British. It is, however, worth noting that this journey was embarked on by foot all the way from these upper regions whilst in chains and shackles. As I walked through the gates of the Cape Coast Castle, one thing that stood out to me the most was how the place for worshipping God was right above the dungeons where slaves were kept. My tour guide for the day was Mr. Richard Kwesi Obeng. As Richard lured me into the male dungeon, the full scale of atrocities that were caused here several centuries ago struck my heart.
They defecated here, urinated, vomited, they ate, they slept here. With the unkept hair, rotten or decayed, smelly bodies, some of them had sores of wounds. So imagine the stench, the flies, the mosquitoes, the pain, the hunger here.
Once again, the scale of atrocities caused in this castle is just unbelievable. This is the female dungeon.
The female captives, they were abusing some of these women sexually. Those who resisted, those who denied them sexual advances, those women wanted to protect their little dignities left. A couple of them, about 8 of them, were pushed in here, locked them up with heavy metal door, gave them food, water, just once a day, because in the dungeons they were fed twice, but in the cell once. So this one, feces, urine, vomit, blood, as women. During that time of the month, the ladies were standing better into a hole here. After 7-10 days, those who survived the cell were allowed to go back into the dungeons, just to punish them here. So next time, they will allow themselves to be raped, also to serve as a deterrent to the other women. So this is a cell for those who denied the protection sexual advances. You can see the cell, see the hole for faces, for blood. Those who passed them to the door and bound on a chain before you your fancy, the hand crack.
The final door through which slaves entered the castles.
Thank you. We will come. Let's go.
And packed like sardines to be sold in Europe, the West Indies, and other parts of the world. According to TGC, about 11 million people were shipped out of Africa as slaves. As I walked through the door of no return, I kept thinking of how many souls would have walked out of this door and never to return again. So many years after slavery, 2 people were brought back through this door of no return to break the curse of slaves not returning. Hence, we now have the door of return directly behind the door of no return. Although the transatlantic slave trade officially ended centuries ago, it is sad and undeniably true that slavery still exists in different formats across the world. It therefore lies on you and I to come together, to live together, to love, and to see each other as equal in order to end slavery completely. For we may be different in complexion, but still one people.
Where are my people? Why are we letting this happen still in 2023? Well, guys, make sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Second, I know you feel the beat. Do you feel the rhythm all the way? Can you see the vision? Everything in this world will be okay. Can we be together?